Welcome to Intro Skippers, the show where someone who entertains and someone who covers entertainment combine forces and entertain you with the streaming content we love. My name is Kim.
My name is Jason.
And today we are talking about Stranger Things Season 5, Part 1. And that is because we are taking a little holiday hiatus after this episode. And we will see you again after parts 2 and 3 are released. So I guess we could talk about it again then.
We could. Yeah, I mean, maybe why don't we come up with some theories and then we can see if our theories were true.
All right.
I don't know.
I have some. I have a few.
I have a few
so,
as well.
We can't recap the whole thing because that would take 4 hours. I did actually make a recap of seasons 1 through 4 for IGN. And I recommend you check that out because I forgot a lot before I rewatched the whole thing and wrote it.
We'll put the link in the description so you can go check it out.
Yes, I'm sure I'll remember to do that. Hold on.
I'm making a note to yourself.
Remind me in 1 hour to put that link in the description. All right. You saw what I'm doing if you're watching the video. So, for season 5, I think we should talk about scenes and characters and arcs that we're liking, theories we have. And I think it can be a discussion too. If you want to join in, feel free to comment where you can or send us an email if you so desire of your theories. So, just to table set a little about where we are. Season 5 opens in a now militarized Hawkins, as you'll recall, after season 4, when the ground split open and all the upside down badness poured out. The town is in kind of trouble and they can't really pretend nothing's happening, though they did say it was a natural disaster, though we all know what it really was. There is a huge militarized zone in the middle of town. And for that, in that zone is like a gateway to the upside down, which they do seem to use a lot, like more than I think is safe to be breathing in the upside down dandruff, as Robin calls it at one point.
Even Hopper's character was like, wow, they're burning so quickly again. So like clearly even the characters are noticing that.
I think they're being reckless, but they actually, the core group, and that is the adults, that's Hopper, Joyce, the young adults. I mean, I can't say kids at all at this point.
Right.
Because no one's a kid anymore. So the young adults, which is Nancy, Jonathan, Steve, Robin, and then the so-called kids, which are the core 4 boys and 11. Max is still in a coma, unresponsive in the hospital. And then we have a younger generation introduced, which is Holly Wheeler, who is Mike and Nancy's younger sister, who is being played by, I think at the time of filming was 12 or 13. If the timeline is to be believed, Holly should be 7 or 8. So
right,
everyone's too old.
Some things, and I heard that the original 2 twin sisters that played Holly, they wanted to get a more experienced actress to play Holly this time. So, and I think there was a time jump or something, but either way, they wanted someone who was experienced in horror.
They said exactly what the time jump was, and it wasn't that much. The boys are still in high school.
Yeah. It's just like 1987 now, I think.
Yeah, but it's in that early November range where Will was initially first abducted in season 1, which they do draw back to. And I think that's a de-aged Mike Wheeler. Not Mike Wheeler. I think that's a de-aged Will Byers.
Yeah.
And then I saw that and I thought, oh, I see why they cast him. He looks a lot like Winona Ryder as a child. But now he doesn't. Now, I mean, if we're following what Will's doing, Will at this point, he's realizing he has a connection to the hive mind of the upside down. And, he's prickling on the back of his neck and he has a deep connection to Vecna. Like in the beginning scene, it shows him getting abducted, not just by the creatures of the upside down, but directly to Vecna. And he uses a tentacle to pump like evil, dark energy into him, which is not a visual I like to see. And it does seem like that's it's gross. He's a kid. And then Vecna's like, oh, I need to do this with more kids. That's what he seems like he's doing, to line up 12, because Vecna loves clocks and there's 12 numbers on a clock. So there you go. But
Mm-hmm.
Will and him have a special connection. So Will is getting a much, much bigger role this season. And I think we have to say it. No one's saying it in interviews, but this relationship, both thematically, visually, and probably more, it's a lot like Harry Potter and Voldemort. Will is being built up to have that connection with Vecna the same way that Harry and Voldemort were in Harry Potter. And visually, the way he's styled is he looks a lot like Daniel Radcliffe in the movies. It's wild to me that they've done
Mm.
this.
See, I'm always thinking of how they're relaying it back to the original D&D characters that the core kids have given the nicknames to,
Mm-hmm.
such as the Demogorgon and Vecna. Because remember, it's only the kids that are calling them that. I don't think that Henry calls himself Vecna,
No, he
right?
calls himself Henry or One,
Yeah, yeah.
not Vecna. But like Vecna looks like Voldemort, and Will looks like Harry Potter, and they have this connection where they can understand each other. And
Hmm.
now, it looks like Will is the chosen one because let's just zoom to the end. Will has a pretty much very similar power set
Yeah.
to Vecna. He has
Yep.
powers now.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I loved that last scene where he's like levitating and like bringing in the power and all that. But
I actually preferred when he was with Robin because Robin is so herself and happy, and he was just like, "How do you do it? Can you teach me? Can you be my mentor
my
for
mentor.
I'm a gay teen. What do I do? I'm
Mm-hmm.
scared."
Mm-hmm.
And she says the power wasn't in other people, the power was in myself. So when Will realizes his powers, and it beckons back to that scene with Robin of finding that joy and of your younger self and having that boldness and strength and not caring about what other people think and just being as you can be. I thought that was so touching and probably the best use of Will in years because I don't think he's been that important, especially in season 4. And I would say the same for Mike. I think Mike might be the most improved character at this point because he
Okay.
sort of fell off
Yeah.
where he like wasn't really there for Will and wasn't really there for 11 and because they were physically away from each other. But last season, when they were trying to help 11 enter the part of her mind where she could access Max to save her toward the end,
Mm-hmm.
I remember at one point Will like went to Mike and said, "You're the heart, Mike. You're the heart. You have to help in this way." And I was like, "Is he the heart? This guy sucks. This guy sucks." But now in season 5, Mike is good. Mike is a leader. He and Nancy both have leadership positions in the crawl group, the dungeon crawl group, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems very focused on getting things done. And he had such a sweet scene with Holly. I think that was one of the most important scenes so far this season when they're sitting together and he passes her a little painted D&D figure and says, you can be like her. Whenever
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared, I think about my character and how brave he is. And he was just sharing that with her. And I think that's kind of the core of what this show is one, D&D, and
Yeah.
two, those loving bonds of friendship. When I was recapping season 1, the first striking scene is the boys playing D&D together, and that's where we figure out what are they like, what are their personalities, what are their roles with each other, and what is the core of this. And that is the core is joy. It's friendship and joy at its base.
I mean, one might argue that playing D&D is joy. I might argue that.
I do think the last scene of this series will be D&D. There's a theory out there that says, "Oh, that it was all a game the whole time." But I don't think that's
Nah.
the core. I think it's more of a bonding mechanism.
Yeah.
So like the whoever it remains at the end will be playing together.
By the way, speaking of D&D, so this shirt that I'm wearing, it's from GaryCon, which is a convention that's dedicated to Gary Gygax, the main creator of D&D. And this is actually what the original Demogorgon looked like in D&D. He was a demon, but he had 2 baboon heads for his heads. So I thought I would wear that and show you that today. He has tentacles. So I mean, the kids calling that very first monster they saw the Demogorgon. The styling is not really the same, but thought you might be interested to see this weird baboon demon thing.
So that's a Demogorgon or that's Vecna?
No, this is the Demogorgon.
Ah,
Yeah,
so they were way off from the official design, but
way off. Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna guess Wizards didn't really collaborate with them on this. So
Not at the beginning. Obviously, they're collaborating now. Wizards of the Coast is releasing complete the campaign. There's all sorts of Stranger Things D&D tie-ins now. But maybe in the first season it was more of a softer relationship. But now they're fully in.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
Let me get back on track.
sure.
So I was talking about Mike.
Yeah, and Noah, I wanted to give Noah Schnapp a shout out because Will Byers, season 1, it's basically just him like huddling in that fort. So the fact that now he gets to be basically the main character, I think is cool for an actor.
I mean, he
throw into
effectively
that.
is because he seems to be in more scenes than 11 at this point, who's been the center pretty much as soon as she appeared. I did notice there were a lot of death fake outs in this batch of episodes with, I would say, Dustin saying to Steve things like, I can't be here for you all the time. And what are we even doing if we're not fighting for what we believe in? And then it seemed like Hopper might die at some point. So I think the makers of this show know that we're expecting a major death. I don't know if they're
Right.
actually going to go through with it, but they certainly know, and they are taunting us the whole way through.
Yeah, they're
So
setting this up.
for most of this, 11 she's been training. She's strong now. She's kind of dressed like the brother in Goonies with all the sweats
Right.
on.
And then the shorts over sweats. Was that a thing in the 80s? I guess it was.
I had heard that they were trying to do an allusion to Superman because he has trunks
Okay.
over tights.
Right. Right.
So she kind of is. She's the most powered one, I guess. But is she? We'll get into that. She is training. She wants to go on a crawl. She wants to fight Vecna. Hopper is telling her all the way, no, 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 you're not ready. He's truly gaslighting her because she is ready. And eventually she does make it down there. And that's kind of where she gets siloed for a long time, is in the Upside Down, trying to get to a device that they've been using against her that kind of dampens her powers and weakens her. And it's just a sonic attack on her. And
they did call it kryptonite, so there's another Superman
there we go.
reference.
She's I think the Superman illusions are strong with her. And they're like, we got to get it. I think what they're using is Vecna. It's got to be Vecna. And then it's Callie from that one season 2 episode that most people didn't like.
Right.
She is number 8. So she is one of the other experimented on kids. She has different powers than 11. She has more like, I want to say, reality distortion.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully with her in the fold now, she is an asset to the team. That means that's Will, 11, and Callie all lined up on the side of fighting Vecna.
I often bring up that episode, that strange season 2 episode where she
The
goes
episode
to
everyone hates.
Chicago or something, and finds the weird warehouse full of mutants. It's very like, this is
They're
X-Men.
not mutants.
Well,
like
what
in the
I mean
X-Men
is
sense.
it feels like X-Men all of a sudden.
It feels a little bit like New Mutants. And yeah, and they threw it away because people hated it. I think it was maybe meant to be a backdoor pilot kind of thing, but I do like that they are bringing her back into the fold because there is enormous potential there with other children like them. I mean, that's where we got the idea of 1/Henry to begin with, is he is the proto child that's been experimented on. And now we're seeing, I mean, if they had left her out, it would have sucked because that's a loose end. So I hope there's a redemption for the actor. Oh, actually, no, the actor was never the problem. It was the story.
Yeah.
So I hope there's a redemption for the story and the actor continues to be great.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what we have going on over there. There's a weird love triangle once again between Steve, Nancy, and Jonathan. Jonathan wants to propose to Nancy. I hate this idea. I do not like them as a couple. It's not to say I like Nancy and Steve as a couple, but I really don't like Nancy and Jonathan as a couple.
Are
I
we
think that was
meant to not
another.
like it?
I no, I think it's just me
Okay.
because I rewatched again when he was like taking pictures of Nancy with his camera in secret, and I was like, damn, what a creep.
Okay, yeah, that's weird.
And then all he did in season 4 was smoke a lot of weed. And I thought, Jonathan, who are you? But that's just, it might just be a me thing, being annoyed with Jonathan for falling off track and not being the best boyfriend. And
They certainly seem
yeah.
like a couple based on the situation rather than a couple you would think could make it long term.
Well, I mean, there's dialogue at some point that's like, she's miserable in this relationship with you. The only one who seems to be team Jonathan and Nancy is Murray, who, by the way, excellent. Uh, One of the few, because it's the characters who are usually lighter and funnier are a
Yeah,
little bit muted now. Like Steve and Dustin, they were the erstwhile funny,
right.
lighthearted characters, and they're both kind of in the darkness right now. But we have
Mm-hmm.
Murray, who brings in
Oh,
the
yeah.
contraband. I love him. And he brings, of course, Jonathan a ring to propose to Nancy, and he's on the side of that. I'm still against it, but sure.
It's going to play itself
Lucas,
out whether you want it to or not.
yeah, I know. That's the way shows go. They do not react to my feelings in real time, and we have to accept that. Lucas is holding on hope for Max, and Max is in there still. She's
Yep.
just deeply trapped in Vecna's world. So, Max is kind of in a cave that Vecna is scared of. And I found out that they talked about what that is in the Stranger Things stage play and not the
What?
show yet. I sure hope they do talk about it in the show, but I thought, why would you put such key information in a stage play that only a fraction of the people who like this show and watch this show are going to see?
Where even was this stage play? This is not the Stranger Things experience, right? That you
No.
could go to
It's
in a
in
parking lot
it's
a couple
actually
years
still
ago.
running in New York.
Okay.
Stranger Things play. Stranger Things, the first shadow. It's a prequel play set in 1959 Hawkins, exploring
Mm.
Henry Creel and younger versions of the characters who are his contemporaries are around that time, including Joyce Hopper, Bob Newby, and Bob Newby's sister, who has a relationship with Henry at the time. And pretty much, I mean, this I guess this is a spoiler, and I don't usually do spoiler warnings, but like, how could you possibly know this without looking it up, which is what I did. It intimates that Henry Creel was possessed by the mind flayer in that cave for the first time, and that's why he doesn't like it.
I see.
And it kind of shows that he's a victim of the mind flayer as opposed to he is the puppet master behind the mind flayer. So I'm not really sure where they're going to go with that. And as the play progresses, the possession becomes stronger. He kills his family at one point, and that's essentially it. There's much more to it, but I just to boil it down, that's what it is.
Okay. Now, if the Mind Flayer is in that cave, why do you think he's leaving Max and Holly alone?
He's scared of the cave. He doesn't want to revisit that part of himself. He's okay with them going to his childhood home
Right.
that looks a lot nicer than it does in reality, where he likes to cocoon himself. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a part of his psyche that he hasn't addressed and doesn't want to address.
Right.
And the girls are essentially hiding there to keep him away.
Well, but what I mean is the Mind Flayer there, or he's not there anymore?
Oh, I don't know. I think this is all a projection in Henry's mind, but who's to say at this point?
Right.
Because where does Holly exist physically? Is she in the upside down, trapped, on that pillar?
Mm-hmm.
Because Max isn't. Max is in the hospital, but her mind is there. So there's
Right.
something different going on.
And then did you feel like that wall, the back of the cave, did that represent the physical wall in the upside down?
Do you mean the meat wall?
Yeah, the meat wall.
I'm not sure if that's the meat wall.
Okay.
I'm not really ready to
I
go that
thought
far
that
yet.
when I saw it, I was like, is this sort of Henry's manifestation of that wall?
The meat
But
wall.
meat wall. I mean, that's very accurate.
The impregnable meat wall that cannot be broken down or pushed through. Oh, it's so gross. But you know, that's a hallmark of this where we're at now in the story. And that's where we are. Let's see. So Lucas has hope that Max will pull through. We find out that she almost did at one point when he was playing
And
her
the
song.
tape ran out.
I
80s
know.
tape technology.
I know. If it was, if he
it
was just playing it off streaming, he could just hit repeat.
hit repeat.
Button. Just leave it on permanent loop. Unfortunately, no. And it looks like, I forgot to mention earlier, but the Byers are living with the Wheelers in their house, and they've been there for months, and no one is helping Karen Wheeler with the cooking or dishes. Joyce?
Mr. Wheeler friggin' sucks. You want to talk about people that suck? He kind of sucks.
Well, he's kind of been kept out of things, even more so than Mrs. Wheeler, who had somewhat of a gross storyline with Billy, who was definitely a teen at the time, that she was lusting after him.
Oh, right. God, I forgot about Billy.
That?
I forgot about Billy.
She was entertaining the idea of hooking up with Billy, a teenager, as an adult. Gross. Karen. And so anyway, they become more important than ever because they both defend Holly from Vecna in their home, and they're sent to the hospital. I think only Mrs. Wheeler wakes up, so the dad is in a coma, and I wonder, can he pop up in the Vecnaverse, or is that only for kids?
Oh, true.
Because Max is in the Vecnaverse, and she's in a coma.
That would be a great redemption. Like, what if Dad Wheeler becomes a badass in the Vecnaverse and completely redeems himself for all of his, I'm going to read the paper while you do the parenting.
Or I'm going to neglect you so you consider having an affair.
Yeah. There's a lot of things he needs to redeem.
I did like the wrinkle in time motif. That was a big part of this. It's the book that Holly Wheeler is reading, and it's just this fantasy. I think it's strongly hinted that the way this ends up, it's going to be with time travel. Because that's a big part of A Wrinkle in Time, and we're toying a lot with the past. 11 enters the past frequently through her powers, and I'd like to see where this goes. I love the idea of them in their current forms or even older forms going back to like season 1 and affecting the past there, so that we get this, it had to be this way kind of circular narrative. And I think a lot of cool 80s media, I'm thinking of Back to the Future, relies on that kind of thing. I'm also kind of thinking of Bill and Ted.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's my theory of where this is going, is time travel. I could see an older 11 or an older Will affecting themselves as kids, and I would very much like that.
It would remind me of It again, too.
Oh, yeah. So in It, Welcome to Derry, not to spoil the ending, but time, past, present, future, all becomes a very interesting concept that they start toying with, which I hadn't seen previously. Big twist. Get ready for it, because I'm not going to explain it.
Yeah, don't, please. Well, will you explain it once I see it? Can I call you and be like, hey, what the hell was that?
Well, the big answer to that is we don't know yet, but it's a concept that seems to be on the horizon, and it's a very interesting concept, the concept of time, and it does tie directly to 11's powers, 11 being, I think, the central figure of the show. So that is cool too. Those are my theories, pretty much. We also have a new character. I introduced Holly and her alter ego, Holly the Heroic. I think she's a cleric, right?
Right.
So she could have cleric powers, much like how Will has. He's a wizard, or is he a sorcerer?
Wizard or sorcerer powers.
Okay.
I mean, one of that episode 4 was entitled Sorcerer, and for those of you who don't know, I know you know, Kim, but the difference between a wizard and a sorcerer is that
Mhm.
wizards study magic to get their powers, and sorcerers just inherently have magic
Then
already
I
in
would
them.
say Will is a sorcerer. He
Yes.
just has it.
Mm-hmm.
What are their alter egos? Let me look it up.
Okay.
Well, we
Uh,
know we have Holly the heroic. Mike's a paladin. Will's a wizard slash sorcerer, like you said. Lucas is a ranger. Dustin is a bard. And Eleven is also a sorcerer slash mage.
right. Yeah. I almost would peg Lucas as a paladin, but Ranger, I could see that too.
Well, he does kind of stay behind for the most part, though he did have a good scene during the episode 4 of the first part where they're kind of taking the roles of the older kids now, where Mike and Lucas, they're playing big parts in helping the kids escape from
Mm-hmm.
this military pen that the kids are being sequestered in for their safety. But of course,
Right.
is it really that? Because Hawkins is not a good place and the lab is an even worse place. And they're being targeted and they're doing everything they can to help these kids get out as kind of the new guardians. And like Mike and Lucas are just guys. They don't have powers and they're doing the best they can. And I really love that aspect of the show, which is Lucas says at one point to Max when she's in bed at the hospital, he says, "We need the whole party." And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
so sweet, where it's like, yeah, we all have a part to play, even if we're not all a superhero. But now there's kind of a lot of superheroes.
By the way, I loved their shout out to the Great Escape
Mm.
when they were talking about digging the tunnels and Tom, Dick, and Harry. So that was pretty cool.
They just wanted to make dick jokes.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, what they did was similar, although those tunnels were already pre dug by what? The in season 2 when the sort of tendrils went everywhere. Those were
Oh
like tendril
yeah, they
tunnels.
were they were digging around and making the pumpkins rot.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's useful. I do like that the show draws on its own mythology to like one close ends, but to make it a more full experience. So I think a lot of this is working for me. Um, I
Okay.
think so far the MVP is probably Mike, in my opinion, because he is embodying his role more so now than season one, or back to season one as the heart. I think that is important because the what makes Stranger Things isn't necessarily the psychic battles or the more sci-fi concepts or even the idea of time travel, which I love, but not confirmed. I just think it's going to happen.
Okay.
What Stranger Things is really about is those relationships and those moments where you are softer and just being regular people connecting with each other.
I never had a moment where I thought any of these episodes were slow. I was engaged the entire time,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think they're really getting good. They haven't lost their touch, in my opinion, as far as just purely entertaining us. Uh,
How do we feel about where Dustin is now? Because he used to be a bright spot, and now he seems to be, in my opinion, very clearly depressed.
yeah, and that's obviously coming out in his actions and his.
Well, he misses Eddie, and he gets beaten up for it, and he gets a snake murdered for it. But
Yeah.
he's just so defiant in being like, this is, we can't forget Eddie. We can't forget about why we're doing this, because the guys say, hey, why don't we focus on the plan? Keep your head down. But I mean, he's being a jerk about it, but I think Dustin is right that you can't forget what you're fighting for and
Mm-hmm.
you can't stop being yourself in favor
Mm-hmm.
of the mission. So
Right.
there's a balance there. I do not like him and Steve fighting. It hurts my heart.
Yeah. I mean, and I do think that they had a point of like, hey, you don't necessarily need to flaunt this in school and get yourself beat up because
Hmm.
how's that going to help the plan with you beat up, you not being at 100%? That's not going to help the plan.
It's true. It did also knock Dustin out of his position, and
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan had to replace him at the radio listening device. But Dustin is more adept to that kind of thing, and it's just like I get
Yeah.
the practicality, but I think he's got the spirit. of what is important, what matters, what is center to this whole thing.
Speaking of the radio tower, what did you think of when I believe it was Robin kind of tricked Joyce by saying that the flux capacitor needed to be fixed?
I cannot believe Joyce does not know what that is. Because also she also acted like she barely knew Robin. And it's like, because she said to Will, like, who's your new friend? I like your friend. And it's like, haven't you all been working on these crawls for so many times now? Like, they've done it, what, 20 times at this point? According to what they say. Like, so many times they've worked together. And to explore a different mapped area of the Upside Down to try and find Vecna. I don't know why they're going to the grocery store. They should just go directly to Vecna's house. They've seen him there.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Well, because we need more episodes, I suppose.
Uh,
At the end of the day, I mean, why does Doctor Who regenerate? So that the show can keep going and they can just have a new actor.
I got an offer in my email that was like, do you want a Doctor Who coloring book to share with your readers? And I was like, readers?
Yeah, what's going on here?
And how do I share a coloring book with... Anyway, that's unrelated.
So when's the coloring book showing up?
I'm never getting that coloring book. I don't want it.
All right.
I don't have a blog.
Remember when adult coloring books were all the rage?
I think for some people they still are, but It's never been for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where we are at this point. We have Derek Turnbow, who plays a major new role. He's another new character. He's a spoiled little brat who sucks. But then he turns around with the help of Joyce. You know, mother is mothering and getting him to be Derek the Delightful. And he helps get the kids to safety as well as he can while in the child prison. I don't know what to call it.
He does a really good job, actually.
And the main gang destroys his house.
Well, yeah, there is that.
They didn't, in my opinion, they didn't have to go that hard.
At this point, are his parents still unconscious? I can't even remember where they are.
They might be unconscious from the pie. So they're going to wake up and see their son is missing and
their house
everything's
is destroyed.
Ruined. There's a whole floor that got knocked out. Countless bottles of probably expensive wine gone. Just lots of damage. They probably have insurance. I don't know how the militarized Hawkins factors into home insurance.
Oh, I can see.
These are the real questions.
Hey, living in California, Southern California, I can see all of the insurance companies just bailing on quarantined Hawkins. They'll be like, well, you know, we got to cancel your policy. Anyway.
Yeah, insurance companies are evil. So when we go into the next batch of episodes, I think Will certainly take a center stage, at least for the first episode. And then we have to wrap it up. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to wrap up all these loose ends at this point, because there's more to Vecna's story, the stage show, there's a lot to it. He has a girlfriend who grounds him in there, who is Bob Newby's sister. Bob Newby was, of course, Joyce's boyfriend in season 2, played by Sean Astin. And it's a lot. There's a lot going on here.
President of SAG-AFTRA, Sean Astin now.
Oh, is he?
Yep. He's our new president.
Cool. Good for him. But it's like, I think we're going to have to square up with these ideas that people have that someone's got to die in the main cast. I don't know if that's going to happen. Like, maybe it's a big fake out. Maybe that's just something we presumed as fans that has to occur for there's to be, emotional touchstones and moments of gravitas. I don't know if that's going to happen because they've already faked us out so many times. And I really hate the Hopper death fake out because they already did that one. They did that one when he went to Russia.
Right. Also, the Hopper and 11, the whole sort of like pushing back and forth. You're not ready. You're going to be ready. They kind of already did that in season 2 as well, didn't they?
They did, where she wanted to leave the house and he was like, you can't, you have to stay in. So there is something online. Have you seen the D20 theory?
No. You mean the D20 theory? I have like so many like right in front of me right now.
Well, as Jason is showing, if you don't know about Dungeons and Dragons, rolling a 20 is about the best thing you can possibly do. It means you will be successful in whatever it is you're rolling for to decide the probability.
Success.
Automatic, great success. So their theory has to do with the 3 main patients from Hawkins' lab. 11 plus 8, that's Callie, plus 1, Vecna, equals 20. So the theory has to have all of them add up to equal 20, which is the side of 20, the biggest possible thing on there. So the ending has to involve all 3 of them somehow.
Okay. Obviously, that's a new theory.
Maybe they combine, maybe they all die together, maybe like some big event happens. I don't know. But that's pretty popular going around as well. And I think it's going to be exciting no matter what it is. I'm bracing myself for the lack of meaningful character deaths. Though I wonder if they're teeing up Callie for that, because every season, and I think this is without fail, they give you more time with the smaller character so you grow to love them, and then they kill them. That happened with Eddie. That happened with Bob Newby. It's kind of a pattern that they do. So if you take the girl from the episode everybody hates, redeem her, and kill her, doesn't that sound like it's that playbook?
That's true. Yeah.
All right. So let us know if you're into the D20 theory and where this is going, and your thoughts on time travel. And who is going to travel where if they travel. I think it's a done deal. I think it's happening.
Do you think they're going to go back to 1959?
I think they're going to go definitely to the night that Will was first abducted, where the series started. I believe that was November 3rd.
Yes. 82?
82 or 83.
Okay.
Yeah, at this point. I think it was 83. I could be wrong. I don't have the script in front of me that I wrote that explored this in depth.
Once again, check out the link.
Yeah, that I remembered to put in the description.
Well, I mean, I could always try to find the link too.
Okay, you have to Google Stranger Things recap, IGN, and then you watch the video, and if you hear my voice, that's it.
Oh, God. Oh, so you're not on camera. You're just narrating.
No. I wrote it and I narrated it, but I'm not on camera. It's all B-roll from the show to prove points.
Okay.
And also because I did it from home.
Speaking and narrating into this exact mic that we're using now.
Probably, yeah. Okay. But with like more jackets and blankets around for noise dampening.
Yeah.
For VO.
Yeah. Well, by the time we come back, Volume 2 and Volume 3 will be out. The finale will be
done.
Out. So
this is your last chance to listen to an episode with innocence as to what's going to happen.
So in about 6 days from us posting this, Volume 2 will be out. And then Volume 3 is out on New Year's Day. Or actually New Year's Eve. So.
Good time to put it.
Yeah, who needs to watch the ball go down again? Like, who cares? Watch Stranger Things.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Do you think fireworks are fun to watch on TV? No, they look terrible. And stop taking pictures of fireworks. Those aren't impressive either. Just enjoy the moment for what it is. And I don't know where I was going with this, but fuck fireworks on TV. Thank you.
Well, with that, I think that's a great way to leave this episode.
All right, Jason. I will talk to you soon, and I hope you have, after I talk to you, before this episode comes out, have a good trip.
Thank you. Yes, I am.
Jason is leaving.
I'm headed to Tokyo. I'm singing 4 songs. I'm singing 4 concerts with the Tokyo Philharmonic Orchestra, also known when we play songs from Final Fantasy XIV as the Eorzean Symphony. So
All right.
I'm going to have some fun over in Tokyo.
If you're in Japan this holiday season, check out that show.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not, check out Stranger Things Volumes 2 and 3 with me. Because I'll be here.
All right.
All right, everyone. Take care, and we will see you in 2026.
Bye-bye.
Intro Skippers with Jason Charles Miller and Kim Horcher is produced and edited by Kim Horcher and Jason Charles Miller. The name order doesn't really matter. Additional writing by Kim Horcher. Theme song and incidental music by Jason Charles Miller. Take it away, me. You can rate and review this show, 5 stars only please, anywhere you'd like, and you might find your review read on a future episode. Got a question? Email us at introskipperspod@gmail.com. That too could be featured on a future episode. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Intro Skippers on your favorite podcast platform, but preferably one we're actually on. All right, thanks for getting this far. Here's a special treat just for you. I'm gonna stop talking.